Millions dead and the government doesn't want to talk about it. What can you do if your own nation believes you should not be alive? I am Luis Alberto Ángel, and I want to share with you an event that starved 9 million Soviets, 4 million being Ukrainian farmers during the Stalin USSR period, from 1931 to 1934. In order to understand the injustice lived through this time, we need to know what was being neglected. Concepts like peace and well-being are important for this purpose. First of all, what is peace? Peace is defined by Partha in his book Analytical Peace Economics, the edition for peace, as a state of freedom from civil disturbance. Well-being is linked to peace as it relies on it to create a stable health for people. Well-being is the experience of health, happiness, and prosperity. In today's world, the health standards have gone up by quite a lot. More people have access to commodities of the modern world, like the internet and access to entertainment. This has redefined what is necessary for an adequate lifestyle and well-being. What I mean is that technology has raised the bar for what should be considered a necessity in today's world. Now, it is fundamental to have any way to connect with other people, and this includes access to electricity. The Rural Electrification Act of 1936 by FDR as part of the New Deal encouraged the construction of electrical infrastructure in rural areas, granting access to this new commodity after the Second Industrial Revolution. With these changes, media has become our primary entertainment, and the manipulation of this media has become something to look out for. Now, peace is not only looking to keep people alive, but also to be able to enjoy these services we are now capable of providing. This trend of new technologies and advancements taking over can be seen in the First Industrial Revolution, which created a big boom in the economic sector at the cost of the well-being of the common person. Who or what makes history? I believe the victims are the ones who create history. It is the people living in injustice, the ones who call out for help and revolt. The victims of any conflict being discontent with their situation are the ones that later create revolutionary forces, uniting groups and overthrowing authoritarian leaders, even while being oppressed. We can see this in the events of the mentioned Holodomor. This group of almost 4 million people had no way out of their unjust oppression from the USSR leaders. The Soviet government tried to keep hidden their diversion of food from Ukrainian farmers, in turn denying the inhumane famine these people suffered. The response of the people was to make their situation known using reporters and the media. This historical case exemplifies how impossible it is for one single power like the USSR to completely oppress the Ukrainian farmers and workers. In the end, the mass famine is still not recognized as a genocide by Russia. Supporting each other during times of need is what kept the Ukrainian heritage alive. So actively participating in a society promotes well-being because it is the effort and care a community puts into one another by which prosperity is promoted. The relationship between these topics lies on the needs of the many over the needs of the few. This means taking care of the people who supported you and giving them what they need for personal well-being. This translates into a peaceful and happy society, ensuring global peace. We see this in the growth of countries with higher paid working hours, ensured health for everyone, and high security. For example, Denmark, with each person being on average a 7.58 on a 0 to 10 happiness scale. This is based mostly on how the people feel about their government, the services at their disposition, and how their needs are met. During any peace-building effort, both groups should take into account the needs and demands of the other group. This is important because it humanizes the needs of the opposite party. Many times we have seen over history that groups that do not share the same idea, religion, or culture often use propaganda to dehumanize their opponents. We see this in the Second World War, when German Nazi politicians like Adolf Hitler created propaganda for the Jewish, Black, and Communist groups, portraying them with exaggerated proportion to push their political agenda, a strategy to demonize the enemy and separate their forces. The same propaganda strategy was used by the USSR Soviets to encourage the cooperation of Ukrainian farmers during Holodomor, calling anyone that did not cooperate a kulak, meaning a greedy, rich, and bad farmer, although this particular social class did not exist during collectivization. Based on the definitions I have established throughout this topic, I think the way we can provide for my community is by thinking of the people over any authority, since it is the duty of these imposed leaders to take care of their supporters. If these conditions of well-being and health are not met, there should always be the option to take back control and appoint new leaders without the need for violence. Prioritizing the people is the only way to create an equal and peaceful society, achieving global peace by immediate action over injustice. Individually, what we can do to promote peace and well-being is being alert to injustice and neglect of our basic human rights. And collectively, we can pay reparations to the victims of these violations of rights.